Hey Flosstube, welcome back to A Nurse and Her Needle. If you are returning from the first video, again, welcome back. I'm so glad that you have chosen to join me again. If you are new here, like I'm sure many people are, since this is only the second video, I want to welcome you. So this is my Flosstube and just my corner of the internet where I'm able to talk about my crafting life, mostly cross stitch, some knitting here and there, sometimes a few other things, and just share the things I love with you. So my name is Leslie. I live in Wisconsin, and I don't have too much else to share other than we'll get started. It has been very warm in Wisconsin. Right now, the entire state looks like it's red based off of air quality. We're getting all the smoke from the Canadian wildfires. And so I talked to my mom the other day and I said it has been a very good time to stitch because the air quality is so poor. But hoping for a beautiful weekend. The humidity has dropped, and so hopefully it'll be really nice. Can kind of start to see things start to clear up a little bit. So it's been a busy couple of weeks for canning and for the garden. I think I posted a couple things on Instagram, but we have like 5 raised beds at our house, plus a few other things. And so we've been making pickles and dilled green beans and all sorts of things. I'm fighting the battle of the Japanese beetles. If you know, you know, and I am not winning the war, but I am holding ground. So I'm happy about that. So that's kind of what's been going on in our world. Nothing too crazy. Firstly, I just want to say thank you. I was absolutely blown away just by all the encouraging comments, the subscribes, just the reaching out on Instagram and saying, you know, just saying hi. It was fantastic. I truly do love the cross stitch and now Flosstube community. And so I really appreciate all your support and all your encouragement. And it's been really fun to do. I want to do this for no other reason than it's fun and I enjoy it. And I like to share the things that I'm stitching with other people who also love it. One of the things that came up was a couple people asked to see a few of my FFOs. So if you're new to Flosstube, FFO is fully finished object. And I do have a few. I had them kind of on the shelf behind me and around the house. So I thought I would bring out a couple just to get it started before I get into my whips. I do have a new start and a little bit of haul and some plans going forward, and then a little bit of chat on Nashville Market. So let's get started with the first FFO. So this one I finished, I believe it was maybe right before spring. This is Chubby Bee by Jeanette Douglas, and I finished this. This is on a 36 count mystery linen. No idea, it was from a grab bag. And this is with the called for DMC, and then I did substitute the blues because I didn't have the colors that they called for. I don't remember what I substituted them for. I could probably find out. But yeah, and then the frame that I have this in, the frame was from Hobby Lobby. So this is Chubby Bee. It was so fun to do. This didn't take me long at all. This was one project that I took a break from a larger project from, and then just did this smaller one just to kind of give my brain a break. I know I have an error somewhere in one of the flowers, but I fudged it and it's what it is. So that's Chubby Bee. Super cute. I have this sitting on my piano. I love having him out. I will probably, that one will make it onto the wall once I have more of my bee projects done. So that is Chubby Bee. The next one that got finished this last spring, this is probably my most recent finish. And this was Pollinator's Garden. And this is by, I believe it's October House Fiber Arts. I don't have a picture of the chart in front of me. But I did this on 36 count Light Mocha by Zweigart. This was from some scrap fabric that I had. And then I used the called for overdyes. And then the frame, my husband actually made me. Those of you that have stitched this know that it's a little bit of a awkward shape, and I didn't want to pay $80 to get a small piece finished. So my husband made the frame for me and kind of distressed it. So this is Pollinator's Garden. I might want to go back and kind of get rid of that wrinkle there, but it's so cute. Those little bees, so much fun to do. We have this sitting on our mantle, kind of below like the fire, or below the TV. Just have it propped up there. So that is Pollinator's Garden. And one that I finished a little bit, I finished this I think right before winter. This was a pattern that I had received as a giveaway from, I believe it was from Kathy Walker. The pattern is called Snowballs and Icicles, and it is by Stitches by Ethel. And I did this on a 32 count Stormy Gray by Witchelt, using the called for DMCs and overdyeds. I think the overdyeds were Classic Colorworks, and I think there was only one overdyed. And I think it was the Snow. And then the buttons, I don't remember where the buttons are from. I think they're the called for ones. I'm pretty sure they are. And then the fabric that I finished this in a pillow, and the fabric that I did on the back, this is just from a grab bag from Joann's. This was like, you know, one of their remnants, scraps. And so this is Snowballs and Icicles. Straighten it out a little bit there. So yeah, that white kind of overdyed for the snowballs and the snow on the bottom, that's the overdyed. It's really pretty. I think it's called Antique Lace. I think it was by Classic Colorworks. Really pretty. And then the buttons there. And then this was the back. This is before I realized I actually knew how to finish it on the seam. So I finished it in the middle and then just put this to cover up. But now I've learned a few things. So this is in my little dough bowl in the wintertime. But I love it. It's super cute. Little guy. And then lastly, this was one I had finished a long time ago. I don't remember the name of the pattern. If you're really itching to find it, I can totally find it. Just let me know. I do know it's by Bent Creek. It was a kit that I picked up from the Stitching Bee in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So I don't know what the linen that it's on is. It was with the called for DMC pearl cottons. First time stitching with pearl cotton, found out it isn't necessarily my favorite thing, but I do love the effect it gives. And I just have this finished in a hoop because I didn't really have a frame that fit it right and whatnot. I might change it at some point, but it's just finished in a hoop. It's something pumpkin. What is it called? Oh, I don't remember. But it was really fun to do. This was probably one of the first patterns I did when I was getting back into stitching. Yeah, I just have that finished in a hoop. Nothing crazy. So those are a couple of my more recent finishes. I'm hoping, I really want to get a few more finished. I've been collecting some frames from the thrift, and so they'll sell these frames for like 75 cents. And so I've been picking up a bunch and all different sizes, some like weird, you know, long size. I have one frame that I got. Maybe I'll show it on the next video. It's super long, kind of skinny. It's going to be perfect to frame Garden Sampler by Carriage House Samplings. I'm going to need to paint the frame and everything like that, but it's going to be like, I think, the perfect size. So I was really excited to pick that up for $1.50 and then hopefully just get better at my framing. I am not someone that has to have my framing be perfect. My pillows don't have to be perfect. I love the product at the end of stitching, but I'm definitely more of a process stitcher, and I just enjoy doing the work. Okay, so let's get into the whips. So if you are new to Flosstube, whip is work in progress. And one of the first things that I worked on this week was, thanks to all of you, a session of frogging and restitching, because I noticed that on Cranberry Christmas, love this chart, somebody pointed out that my fence was not symmetrical. And I was like, no, there's no way. I'm looking at it over and over again. Nope, it's fine. I just forgot 2 little rows on the bottom. It's great. And then somebody gave me more specifics. I can't remember who. Somebody left a comment, and I looked, and sure enough, what I had done is on this fence on one side, I had done 2 rows in between these 2 things of white, and then I left it as 1 row like it's charted on the other side. So I was not super excited about having to restitch, but I was very happy that somebody pointed it out sooner rather than later. So I will show you where Cranberry Christmas, though there's not any progress on it, there is progress. So there she is, again in all her glory. And she's symmetrical. So this is Cranberry Christmas and this sampler, and this is by Artful Offerings. I do not know what the fabric is. I think it's a weeks, maybe tin rough. I don't know. And this is with the called for DMCs, and I think there's 1 overdyed. Yeah, one of the reds in here is Red Rocks. All the rest are DMC. So it's fixed, guys. The point is I went back and fixed it. I'm not going to show you the back because it's not pretty on this one, because I really tried to save everything that I didn't have to take out and restitch. And so the back does not look real pretty, but it is secure and it's done. So that is Cranberry Christmas. So thank you to those of you that called it out. I was very happy. I'm sorry for the squeaky chair, by the way. I think it needs a little WD-40. Okay. The next piece that I worked on was Shepherd's Song by Plum Street Samplers. And I am stitching this on the called for 36 count Hogbristle by Fox and Rabbit. And I am stitching this with all of the called fors, and I am doing this 1/2. So I really wanted to get, I was really hoping I could get like all the way through the second page, but that didn't happen. So this is the chart here. My husband loves this piece, which makes me want to finish it because I love that he loves it. And this is where I'm at. I have a thread, that's what it is. So I finished up into here. I think I was like right here. So I did all of this, and then I stitched down into these letters here, and then started on this roof. Now this roof, I did not realize was going to be such a beast. I don't know if you can see. It's hard to see. I don't think the light's capturing it well. There's 4 colors in the roof, and it is like a patchwork. It's going to have such a cool effect. Let me see if I can pull the threads and show you. It's going to be really neat, but it is no joke. So I think the colors, hopefully I still have them out. I remember what they were. I wonder if they're not in here. I might have put them in a different spot. I might have just pulled them all like together and put them somewhere else. Oh, there they are. I see them. I have them hanging. Hang on. Okay. I had them hanging on my little cart because I just wanted them all out. So these are the 4 colors that are in the roof. They look similar. They're not. Sorry, they're kind of a mess. I did not put any of these on floss drops. So it is Weeks Dye Works Seagull, Classic Colorworks Muddy Puddle, Weeks Dye Works Caper, and Classic Colorworks Pebble Beach. So all of those are in the roof. And like I said, it's no joke. But it's actually, I think I'm figuring out the pattern of it. So I think I'm figuring out like, you know, what goes where. So I think what I'm going to do with this one, I think I'm going to do this essentially like I have it. I think I'm just going to park the threads and I'm just going to keep going through it. I think that's going to be the easiest. If you have stitched this and have other suggestions, let me know. But I think just parking the threads is going to be the most simple and quickest way to do it. So that is Shepherd's Song. Okay, now it's story time. So, y'all remember me saying how my mom and I were working on 324 by Works by ABC. Awesome chart, beautiful. Well, I had reached out to her asking if she had completed, like worked on it anytime soon. And she said, no, she's working on Real Comfort by Plum Street Samplers. She's on the house. So if you know, it's a gigantic, she's a big girl. The house is a big girl. So I knew that she was busy with that. And so I thought, oh, no problem. So she said, no, I need to put this house down for a little bit. 324 will be a good one. Bright colors, simple motifs. This will be a good one to do. So she texted me Sunday night and said, or whatever night it was, maybe Saturday, and said, Leslie, I can't find it anywhere. And I was like, well, I know I gave it to you. She said, do you have it? And I said, no, I just reorganized my craft room. We just rearranged the room. So we had just brought everything in here. And I was like, I know I don't have it, but I looked anyways. Neither of us could find it. So I called the hotel where we had been at the beautiful Sip and Stitchery retreat down in Rockford, Illinois. And I called the hotel on a whim and asked them, and I was like, hey, do you have this? Here's the bag it's in. Here's what the pattern looks like. Here's what's inside the bag. And this is 2 months later, guys. They had it. I have never been so overjoyed because of all the work that went into this. I've never been so excited to hear that somebody had something in the lost and found of mine. So my mom asked me if her privileges were taken away from being able to work on it again. And I said, I didn't know. So she had left it in the hotel room when I had given it to her at the retreat. But all that being said, the good news is we have her back. So I didn't get to show this one last time. It was not one that I worked on, so not technically a whip, but I do have her in person now, so I wanted to show. So sorry for the glare. So that's 324. You guys have seen her. You're familiar with her. She's a big girl. It uses 324 different colors of DMC, thus the name. And I am doing this on a 36 count Bramble by Picture This Plus, using all the called for DMCs and doing this 1/2. And that's where she is. Oh, it's so cool. It's so fun to do. Just when you get like sick of one part, you're on to the next thing. Oh, it's so neat. And I love this fabric. I love it's showing up maybe a little bit more tan on camera, but it's definitely more of a gray. Oh, it's so pretty. So hopefully I've got a few colors in the bag, and hopefully I can put in a few motifs now that we're on to page 2. Okay. Can all take a breath? We didn't lose the whip. All right, the next thing that I worked on over this last 10 days-ish was, sorry for the bag, A Stitcher's Garden by Tiny Modernist. So that's the chart. I am doing this on 32 count, and I don't know if this is Hawthorne or Hemingway. I don't know. It's by Needle and Flax. I know that much. I don't know which one it is. I think it's Hawthorne. I don't know. It's one of the two. And I'm doing this using the called for overdyeds. And I am doing this 2/2. And I just got a little bit of work done. And I forgot to mention, I will put pictures in kind of where I was and where I got to. So I had previously had all of this done. And I did the little tomato pin cushion and the little thing here and some of the back stitching. So not too much. That red is so fun. That red I love. It is, if you want a really fun, like tomatoey red, like variegated, but like not heavily variegated, It's just enough. It is Louisiana Hot Sauce by Weeks Dye Works. Sometimes I have trouble with Weeks threads, but I really like this one. So that's where I'm at. All right. And are we on to the new one? We might be. I think that might have been the last whip. Oh, okay. So technically this is a whip. It's not cross stitch though. So the other whip I worked on was my Snowy Season cardigan. And this is the pattern is by MJ's Off the Hook Designs. You can find her on Etsy. And it's called Snowy Season Cardigan. There's a long and a short version. I'm doing the short version. And I am crocheting this with Cake Pop Speckle by Brava. And I am doing that one. So those photos there. So I worked on this a little bit at work. This is an easy work over my lunch stitch when I have a little bit of time. And this is where I'm at. So this is my first sleeve. So you can kind of see, kind of show it this way. Maybe it's easier. Okay. So there's my first sleeve. Got the little edging there. And then I got to here, and then I just marked out the middle, and then I'll be working on the left, on this side of like the neck. That's my next spot, is to like work this. So I got to a good spot where now I can just follow my pattern, count my rows, and keep going with it. But the yarn is so fun. Let me see if I have the skein in my bag. There it is. Oops. That's the yarn. Super fun. Just when you get sick of it, thinking, oh, it's just white, you get onto this like fun color. So it's been really great. All right. So I had one new start, and this is for, so I mentioned I have the retreat for the Stitching Bee in October. I go to that every year. I know they opened it to previous retreat goers first, and then they open it up to new people. So it may be open to new people. If you are interested, I know they put a cap on how many. You can contact Kendra at the Stitching Bee, but it's always a lot of fun. And we usually do a theme, and there's a smalls exchange and table gifts, you know, all the kind of normal stuff you do at a retreat. And this year's theme is patriotic. And I don't really decorate a lot of patriotic stuff. It's not really my jam, but I love doing the smalls exchange. And I figured this could be really cute to exchange with somebody and then have a piece that I can put in my dough bowl over summer. So I am stitching Patriotic Matilda. She's so cute. And this is by Finally a Farm Girl on Etsy. And I am stitching this with all the called for DMC, and this is on 40 Count Dusk by Fiber on a Whim. And that's where I'm at. Yes, I already cut it down. It's not going to be very big. I'm probably going to turn it into like, I don't know what I'm going to turn it into. I haven't decided yet. Probably just like a little circular frame or something. I probably could have given myself a little bit more margin, but it'll be fine. I'm not worried. So, oh, my board's too tall, but you can see, get a pretty good idea. So I just got part of her dress and part of the flag that she's working on. So super cute. It's very fun. Fabric is great to stitch on. Fiber on a Whim is one of my favorite fabric designers. Okay. All right, so that was the only start I had. I was hoping to be able to start the baby sampler that I showed last week, the Birth Sampler by Kathy Barrick. And if you want to go back to that, I'm doing that on 36 count Crypt Cloth by Lap and Loops with the called for DMC. I love it. I need to start it. I just need to get around to it. It's for my friend. She already knows she's getting it, so it's fine. So I was hoping to start that. I didn't get to it yet. I'm hoping that I can get a start on it this coming week. Okay, so let's go into a little bit of haul. Let me make sure I've got everything here I wanted to share. I think there was one thing. I don't know if that's here. I'm gonna find one thing real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So I'm gonna go into a little bit of haul, and one of these things is really neat. So this was actually given to me by a very dear friend of mine. We used to teach together as nursing faculty, and we have just never stopped our friendship. And her mom used to do cross stitch, and her mom has since passed away, but she gave me essentially all her DMC. And in the box of all this DMC was this book. It's in, is it Dutch? Denmark, printed in Denmark. And this pattern was already started. So this is all metallic thread, like all around here. And her mom had already started it and had done all the metallic, which is awesome. I would love to finish this. I'd love to finish it for her. I don't think she'll watch this, so I don't think she'll see it. I would love to finish this for her. It's just, you know, really simple linen, and you can kind of see like there's like half stitches on this border. I would love to finish this. So the only problem with that is all of the colors are written in Danish. So I think she went through, and I think she actually figured out which colors were which for DMC, and I think she has a key in here. Yes. So she actually figured out, I have to decipher her handwriting, but she actually figured out what is what, which is crazy. So I need to go through it. I need to look at it and write it in my own writing so I know what it means. But it's just super fun to have like a historical piece like that. So that was one thing. I've had that for a little bit, but I'm calling it haul. The other thing I picked up, and I was looking for the other book. I had two books that I picked up, but I couldn't find the other one. It's somewhere. But these are ones that I had gotten at a rummage sale. And it is a cross stitch Christmas. I have no idea who put these out. Couldn't tell you. Craftways Corporation out of Stevens Point, Wisconsin. I'm gonna try and show these without showing the pattern. So these are two that I love. So that wreath, and then this red sampler with all the little like Christmassy motifs. Super cute. The other book, maybe I can find that for next time. But I would love to look more into those and some of those, you know, more vintage pieces. The next couple of things that I picked up from haul, I made a trip on Saturday to my local needlework shop, my L&S, and that is the Needlework Shop in Wausau, Wisconsin. Carrie does a fantastic job and has so much stuff, and it's all so cute, and she always has patterns that I've never seen. So that being said, I picked up Llama Berry Farm by Tiny Modernist. I think I might save this one to start the next time they do like the Strawberry Moon Sal. Oh, it's so cute. And that little berry bowl with the llama head on it. I love it. So I picked up that. And then I picked up, this is called Summer in My Veggie Garden Bowl Fillers. And this is by Thistles. And these would be adorable to have for the dough bowl, especially because I love to garden. Aren't those just the cutest? And I would totally do it with the orange. It looks like a Lady Doc Creates pom on the outside. So cute. So I picked up that pattern. And then I found this pattern and I basically kitted it up right away. So this is called, I'm going to take it out of the plastic because I don't want you to get a glare. It might be hard to see otherwise. This is called Autumn is Here, and this is by Fairy Wool in the Wood. And it's adorable. Like, look at the mushroom guy with the mustache cooking the little mushrooms. It's a little morbid, but it's so cute. And the little rain clouds, the fox, like the little gnomes and the little mushrooms everywhere. Oh, it's adorable. So I got, I kitted everything up for it. So I got all the DMCs. I'll try and, I just have these still in the skeins, but these are all the DMCs. And then it called for, the overdyeds were by Romy's, is it Romy's Creations? Yes, Romy's Creations. So they use their overdyeds for this brown, the red, and then the green in the leaves, the darker green. And so I picked up 3 subs for that. I picked up Bramblebush by Classic Colorworks, Bayberry by Gentle Arts, I think. Yes. And Caroling by Classic Colorworks. I might substitute out that Louisiana hot sauce for caroling. Haven't decided. And for fabric, I think the called for is, let me look. I know I'm not stitching with the called for. It is, oh, it's just Vintage Country Mocha. That's funny because it doesn't look like Vintage Country Mocha. I have some of that. I could do it on the called for. But I have this beautiful piece from when I was in the Bestitch Me Fabric of the Month. I did the 32 count or 36 count Fabric of the Month. And I have yet to find a pattern to do this on. And on the pattern, I feel like it looks more like it's lighter than a Vintage Country Mocha. And it has that modeling around the outside that you can kind of see. And I thought it would be fun to do it on this. So this is Cold Foam by Bestitch Me. I'm gonna try and open it up a little bit. And I'd probably do not like the bottom half, I would probably do the top half where it's a little bit less modeled. But oh, it's so pretty. And I think those colors would just pop off of it. I'm worried about like one of these a little bit might blend in a little bit, like this one might blend in a little, but I think it'll be okay because it's only, I think it's only for like the underside of the mushroom. So I think it would be okay. So I think I'm gonna do that on this Cold Foam unless I change my mind. So that is Autumn is Here by Fairy Wool in the Wood. Super cute, never heard of that pattern. And then I had shown this one last week. This is Honey Hill Hamlet by Artful Offerings. And I picked up the flosses. It's kind of nice. There were only like 8 of them. And they're all, are they all Gentle Arts? Yeah. Yeah. So these are all Gentle Arts. And I need help figuring out the fabric. So I have a 36 count. This is Willow by Bestitch Me. Really pretty. Has that little bit of like that yellow hint to it, kind of like Hogbristle does. And then I also have a 40 count Milk and Honey by Fiber on a Whim. Also has a little bit of that yellow, maybe not as much, maybe more subtle modeling on this one. So if you have a thought or an opinion on whether we should do Milk and Honey or Willow by Bestitch Me, they are similar. Let me know your thoughts. I'm thinking one of those though. So I picked up the floss for that pattern. I think that might be all for haul, which is plenty. So in terms of plans, I really want to start that baby sampler. And then I think I want to start The Autumn Is Here, the mushroom. I know it's not autumn yet, but it's August 1st tomorrow. And I just, come on, you guys. Look at him. It's amazing. I do tend to buy patterns with mushrooms on them because one thing that my husband and I like to do is go foraging for mushrooms. I will actually throw a picture up here of some recent finds we've had. And we have a secret spot where we live. And the picture that I'm showing is, I think I'll either put up me or him. We found a really giant hen of the woods or maitake mushrooms. And so we cleaned those up and dehydrated them, and we have them, you know, in our pantry. So we love that. So I love anything that has mushrooms. I did also pick up some fabric. So this was, I think all this stuff I picked up was from Hobby Lobby because Joann's closed, and that's all I have in town. But I do want to make a couple project bags. So I have this bee one. I thought that's just for the inside. Would be really cute. And then for the Autumn Is Here pattern, look at that. With like the flower on the inside. Oh, that'd be so cute. So I picked that up. And then my last one that I picked up was this chicken fabric. So cute. And then with the speckled, like confetti. It's adorable. So I'm hoping to make a couple project bags out of that. I would really love that. I've been seeing a ton of designers. I've been seeing like Abby the Top Knot Stitcher and Stephanie from Lindy Stitches posting all these Nashville Market releases that are coming up. So of course I'm getting super excited. I told my husband about it and he's like, do we need to have a separate like set of money set aside? So that was super sweet of him. But a couple that I am adding to my wish list like right away was, and I took a screenshot of those, so I will throw them up in the corner here. The first one is Spite and Caffeine by Rebel Stitcher. I just feel like when you work in healthcare, sometimes you are just running on spite and caffeine, and it's great. And then the next one that I loved was M is for Mushroom, and that is by Yasmin's Made with Love. It's so cute, and of course it's a mushroom, so it makes sense. Forest Guardian, which is also by Yasmin's Made with Love. And the reason why I love Forest Guardian is because to me it kind of looks like black work, and I haven't really looked super close on the pattern, so maybe there is some black work on it. But when we lived in Minocqua, so like way northern Wisconsin, we had this toad. We called him PT, stood for porch toad, because he was constantly on the porch. He never wanted to leave. Even if the dogs were outside, he wanted to be there. He had no fear of the dogs. And he was just so grumpy. He was such a grumpy toad. And if you tried to pick him up and move him so he didn't get killed, he would just squeal at you or pee on you. And that Forest Guardian pattern looks exactly like porch toad. If I can find a photo, I will put it in. I will edit that in because he was just such a grumpy toad. So Forest Guardian by Yasmin's Made with Love. So far, my number one, this is going to happen, I'm going to stitch this, is Blueberries J by Jet Stitch. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. And now it makes me want to stitch Cherry Magpie because it's kind of sort of the companion piece-ish to it. So now I want to stitch Cherry Magpie, which is also a big girl. But I already have the fabric for Blueberry J. So I feel like it has to happen. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it uses some Threadworks floss, I believe. So I will be getting that as well. The other one that I love is Garden of Shadows by Sprouting Lupine. I wonder if this is kind of like a companion piece to Unicorn Garden. It seems like it could be. Unicorn Garden has been on my list for a long time too. But I had seen Laura from Lala D Stitches, and she had the a bit of a issue with it, and I think it's in timeout right now. I love it. It's beautiful, but I can understand being frustrated with it when you make a mistake like that. And not that she made a mistake, but you know what I mean? Like, you find that there's a counting area that you can't fudge, and you've done so much that you don't want to rip it out. I will share a fully finished object that went into timeout for a very long time because of that exact issue. It's now done, but it probably sat in timeout for over a year. And then the other one that I really love is No Net Ensnares Me by the Artsy Housewife. I have not stitched anything by the Artsy Housewife. I love the patterns. I have a million of them in my wish list. Never stitched them. So I love this one. This could be a great first one to stitch. So that is kind of where I'm at in terms of plans and just things that I'm looking forward to be released. But last but not least, I just want to take a moment just again to say thank you so much for the subscribes, the comments, just the encouragement. It's been fantastic, and I love being able to share my stitching with friends. So I just have a couple of giveaways that I want to do as just a thank you to you guys. So again, with giveaways, please don't comment anything like winner, giveaway, freebie, anything like that, so we can avoid the trolls. You need to be 18 or older. You need to live in the United States. And then also please be a subscriber as well. So I'm just going to label these 1 and 2 just so it's easy. I'm not going to have to look for specific words. But the first one I have, since we're on I think today's the last day in July, I figured we would do a little Christmas in July giveaway. So this is going to be 2 patterns actually. They're both heart and hand. And the first one, this is gonna be a set of 2. So it is Wee Santa 2022 from Heart and Hand. The new Wee Santa just came out. He's adorable. And this one does come with the bead pack. So the beads are on the inside. The chart's on the inside too. And then the second one in that will be Winter Whirligig by Heart and Hand. So if you would like to be entered into that giveaway, just use the number 1, just so I know, and I will put you into the randomized drawer for the next Flosstube video to send these out to you. And then the second one, this was a pattern that I picked up a while ago when I was still kind of figuring out like my stitching and what I really liked and what I didn't like, or what my style was. And I picked up the Karen Water Lilies cotton threads that are called for in it as well. But I just don't think I'm going to get around to stitching it. I think my style has changed a little bit, and I just don't think I'm going to end up doing it. So I would love to give it to somebody who would like to stitch it. So this is Watercolor Leaves. It's super pretty. It's by Sekas and Company. And so this has a ton of specialty stitches. I can't show you without showing you the chart, but there are cross stitches, there's some half cross, there's some Smyrna crosses, and mosaic stitch. And they give you all the instructions on how to do those. And then these are the Karen, or not water lilies, watercolors, excuse me. So these are the 3 watercolors that are called for. So this is a cotton thread that is 3-ply, and I believe you just stitch with 1 of the 3-ply. So you separate it out. So those 3 are there. And if you are interested in being entered into this one, just comment the number 2. And if you're interested in both, put 1 and 2 on your comment. And then I will draw before the next video and announce those winners and get this sent out to you. So again, thank you guys so much for joining. I really look forward to the next, hopefully the next, 10 days to 2 weeks or so of stitching and being able to come back and share with you again. So you can find me obviously here on YouTube. You can find me also on Instagram at A Nurse and Her Needle. And yeah, happy stitching. I hope that if you're in Wisconsin, that the skies clear up for you. And I'm gonna add in one little video here of my dogs at the end. So if you're not interested in seeing a little video of my favorite bulldogs, I hope you have a great day and I will catch you next time. But if you want to see a video of the locals that live in my house, stay tuned. Take care, guys. This is Trudy. She's very much a thinker. And that's Bill. And he's just a guy. And this is the old matriarch of the family. This is Goose. And there's Bill.